It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Friday, June 28th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. It's our Friday 5, the 5 big stories of the week as we head into the weekend. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, but then we'll tell you after the break how to make sure we never get canceled. Item number 5 this week, of course, is Israel. The big developments this week. Hamas refusing the proposed ceasefire deal, this proposed by President Biden on May 31st. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh in Qatar saying on Tuesday that he refuses to sign any deal that does not include Israel agreeing to end the war and withdrawing all troops from Gaza. These are conditions that Israel has repeatedly dismissed. Basically, neither side wants to end the war. Israel because it believes Hamas must be destroyed. That's a sentiment shared by the majority of Israel's population. Hamas doesn't want it to end because the longer this drags out, the more world pressure builds on Israel to end the war. And as I've said before, if Hamas survives this conflict in any form, it declares victory. And for all intents and purposes, it will have won. Also this week, we learned that the United States really is slow-walking weapons to Israel. U.S. officials confirming that there's been a decline in the number of arms shipments to Israel. This reported by Channel 12 News in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu saying that Israel's been appealing to the U.S. government for many weeks to speed up the shipments. The Biden administration trying to play both sides, claiming to support Israel while at the same time trying to show Muslim voters in the swing state of Michigan that it really doesn't support Israel. And as I've said, based on the history that I've been reading of the last 75 years, this is nothing new for the United States. We embargoed arms that Israel needed when it was fighting for its life in 1948, during the Suez Crisis, 1956. The National Security Agency was actually taking signals intelligence and forwarding it to Nasser, the ruler of Egypt, during the Six-Day War in 1967. The NSA knew days in advance of the sneak attack in 1973, the Yom Kippur War, but only told Israel about 3 hours before the advance. Not enough time to call up reserves and get them to the front lines. Ain't nothing new. It sounds simplistic, but when you get right down to it, there is a fundamental choice that American presidents have consistently made over the last 75 years. Oil over the Jews. Topic number 4, Ukraine. This week, rather startling video of a bomb attack, a missile attack on a beach in Sevastopol. That's the southern tip of the Crimean Peninsula, which was annexed by Russia in 2014, showing a cluster bomb dropping munitions on a beach with vacationers. Just having a good time until suddenly these little bomblets began raining out of the sky. 5 people killed, dozens injured, 124 to be exact as of the last report. Hundreds of people seen running for their lives. The question now is, since this appears to have come from a U.S.-supplied missile system, a longer-range missile system than initially supplied in the first stage of the war, how will Russia respond and where? As I've been saying for months, we are slow walking into World War III here. Topic number 3, Julian Assange, a story that's been ongoing for years now, seems like almost forever. The founder of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, finally free, arrived home in Australia on Thursday after pleading guilty to one federal felony charge in a U.S. court in the Northern Mariana Islands. He was sentenced to 62 months, which he'd already served at Belmarsh prison in the UK. WikiLeaks, you probably remember, published a number of documents obtained, described as classified military and diplomatic cables between 2000 and 2011, embarrassing disclosures about what the U.S. was doing in Iraq, a variety of military logs from Iraq and Afghanistan, several diplomatic cables, but perhaps the thing that got him into trouble the most was when he released emails from the Democratic National Committee showing that the DNC back in 2015 was tilting the playing field in favor of Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders, who was actually performing better among Democratic voters in polls at the time. Sanders, though, is an open socialist, not likely to get elected. Hillary was seen to be the more electable candidate, plus she had more of a power base with the deep state. Sanders was pushed out of the way. WikiLeaks, thanks to Julian Assange, made that clear. That resulted in the resignation of DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and an apology from the DNC, but Sanders still not the Democratic presidential nominee 3 election cycles later. Anyway, Assange charged with sexual assault in Sweden. Those charges later dropped. He fled to London, where he holed up inside the Ecuadorian embassy for some years. But after leaving the embassy 5 years ago, was immediately arrested by UK authorities, probably after pressure from the United States. Basically, he's been fighting a 14-year legal battle to be able to return home, and finally, that has happened. And all of this for doing what used to be called investigative journalism, like the Pentagon Papers, the My Lai massacre, stuff like that. That is now grounds for arrest. And that leads to topic number 2 this week, the revelation again that we are the enemy in the eyes of the deep state. There is a group inside Biden's Department of Homeland Security, now since disbanded, that classified supporters of Donald Trump, members of the military, and people with religious views as persons likely to commit domestic violent extremist attacks. Basically, they see people like you and me as more of a threat to national security than violent left-wing protesters like Antifa. DHS formed the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group in September of last year to, quote, provide advice and perspectives on intelligence and national security efforts, end quote. But according to legal watchdog America First Legal, it was a completely partisan group designed to provide cover for the department's agenda, which included justifying spying on Americans, which the Bill of Rights is supposed to protect us against. Not in the 21st century. America First Legal, former Ambassador Richard Grinnell filed a lawsuit against the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group soon after it was announced. Republican members of Congress took action against it, and rather than continue the legal fight, recognizing they had no constitutional ground on which to stand, the Biden administration just disbanded the group. But it appears that it may have been active for up to a year before it was publicly announced. During a meeting in September on collection posture and associated challenges, the group actually described ways to get around the constitutional limits to its power. They see us as the threat. Again, people in the military, people with religious views, and supporters of Donald Trump considered indicators of extremism and terrorism. We'd like to think that this is a new thing that only developed after 9/11 and the Patriot Act. But actually, when you read some of the interviews, investigative journalism, digging into the history of the intelligence services here in the United States, this kind of thing, spying on Americans, by Americans, has been going on since World War II. And now with the internet, it's just a lot easier. Coming up, global warming is global cooling, which causes global warming. I will explain next. The experts have spoken.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take a quick break to tell you how you can get your copy of both of these incredible new works in the Out of This World and Gate of the Gods special offer. When you order this incredible offer from the SkywatchTVStore.com, you'll receive the brand new book, Out of This World, Are UFOs Aliens, Spirits, or Pure Hokum, by Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, that exposes the faults in both the science and theology regarding the existence of UFOs. The very real possibility that UFOs are manned by extraterrestrial beings much smarter and far more spiritual than humans that are preparing to deceive mankind as we approach the biblical end times. The recent surge of UFO activity all around the globe, and why Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis is calling for Project UFO, a national strategy to determine if we face an existential threat, and so much more. But that's not all. You'll also receive Gate of the Gods, Revelation, the Messiah, and the Second Coming of Babylon by Tyler Gilreath, that brings to life the war between Jesus Christ and the power of darkness as illuminated in the book of Revelation. A cosmic end-time struggle between the Hebrew king of promise and the Old Testament gods of Babylon. The hidden Babylonian framework in the book of Revelation that can only be seen through ancient Near Eastern eyes. Unmasking Babylon the Great, and more. Also included in this must-have special offer for a very limited time, Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis's best-selling book, Give Me Liberty, Not Marxism, and his book, Kings of the East, China's plan to eliminate America and impose a communist world order. All of these items hold a retail value of $84. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Out of This World and Gate of the Gods special offer right now.
Item number one today. Yes, this is a real headline in a real mainstream, corporate, respected newspaper, the Washington Post. We've been accidentally cooling the planet and it's about to stop. This is from the article published on Tuesday. Quote, "It is widely accepted that humans have been heating up the planet for over a century by burning coal, oil, and gas." That's the narrative anyway. There are a lot of climatologists who disagree with that, but I digress. But fewer people know that burning fossil fuels doesn't just cause global warming, it also causes global cooling. It is one of the great ironies of the climate change that air pollution, which has killed tens of millions, has also curbed some of the worst effects of a warming planet, end quote. How can that be, you ask? Well, because particulates in the air create cloud cover, which mitigates warming. But only temporarily, the experts warn, because as we're cleaning up air pollution without reducing dependence on fossil fuels, we are actually removing the clouds that are keeping us cooler, thus creating more warming. This is how they're trying to explain the data, which does not support the climate warming narrative. Oh, okay, the climate really is warming. We've just artificially cooled it because of smog. But as we clean up the smog, well, now we're in real trouble. Don't believe your lying eyes, believe us, the experts. The proposed solution, cutting methane emissions. In other words, stop those flatulating cows, and then it will probably be fine. Or maybe just spray more particulates into the air. You know, chemtrails. Remember when chemtrails were just a conspiracy theory? Good times. This week on Skywatch TV, we talk about another conspiracy theory that's gone mainstream, that being the UFO phenomenon and its connection to the ancient world. Out of This World, the new book by Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, and Gate of the Gods, which is the English translation of Babel, by Tyler Gilreath. This is a fascinating series of conversations, seeing how, on the Venn diagram, these two topics overlap. Don't miss the programs. You can watch them right now at skywatchtv.com. The website always has all of our video content right there. You can also catch it over the air. Our broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can also see it right now at Roku or Apple TV. If you've got a set-top box, please make sure you've got the Skywatch TV channel installed. All of our video content is there. Over the web, you can catch it at YouTube. The main program now back on YouTube at Skywatch Television or rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or better yet, guarantee we never get canceled because we won't be canceled from our app. Download our app to your smartphone or tablet, iOS, Android, Amazon, Kindle Fire. We've got apps for all of those and links to those app stores at our website, skywatchtv.com/app. You can follow 5 in 10 online. We post to Twitter, or X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10, and of course on YouTube at 5 in 10. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. Have a blessed weekend and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.
Hi friends, Pastor Mike Spaulding here to announce the Go Therefore 2024 conference. We will gather Friday and Saturday, July the 26th and 27th at Harvest Revival Center in Brookville, Ohio. This year we welcome the following scholars, Bible teachers, and researchers: Derek and Sharon Gilbert, Joe Horn, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Judd Burton, Pastor Paul Begley, Pastor Carl Gallups, Dr. Greg Reed, Tom Dunn, and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny will be doing a book signing for her new book, Walking with God. Livestream is available. Ministry tables are available for like-minded ministries. Hotel and other information is on the conference website, www.gothereforeconference.com. Gothereforeconference.com. Looking forward to seeing you.